SHIN, oh SHIN. You're overpowered as hell. This character at S0 is stronger than Cabernet and Lady Pearl. S0 SHIN provides just as much attack as Cabernet ult, and even more normal attack damage than Lady Pearl stage. At S0, by default, no further investment, SHIN is stronger than 2 of Path of Nowhere's most powerful sinners combined into one sinner. You do not need S3, we'll get to that later. SHIN starts the battle as a healer. SHIN passively heals everyone in her diamond-shaped range, operating almost identical to Hamel. Oh, you thought putting Cabernet and Lady Pearl into one center was too much? Well, they also threw Hamel into the mix. That's 3 centers' jobs that she steals. Okay, back to what she does. SHIN, like all immortal sinners, has a corruption meter. While in the corrupted state indicated by a red meter, SHIN will heal 50% more and will stay in this corrupted state until her meter depletes. SHIN passively fills the corruption meter by healing her allies, but she can also fill all available corruption meters, including her allies, by using her ECB. SHIN then takes her corruption meter and turns it into a resource. When you activate SHIN's ultimate, SHIN starts to drain her corruption meter to buff everyone's attack. This attack boost is just as strong as Cabernet's ult, which is honestly absurd and almost feels illegal. On top of this massive attack boost, SHIN also passively increases everyone's normal attack damage. The normal attack damage scales over time before reaching a 40% boost after 20 seconds. For reference, Lady Pearl stage gives 30%, and that's enough to make Lady Pearl a meta-defining character. It's worth noting that the attack and normal attack boosts are only applied to sinners within SHIN's diamond-shaped range. Taking the healing effect of Hamel, the attack boost of Cabernet, the normal attack boosts of Lady Pearl, and throwing it all into one character at S0 is... well, it's certainly a choice, I'll give you that much. I know someone on the dev team loves SHIN, because that's the only thing that explains why and how this character was allowed to be this strong. If you do decide to go deep on SHIN and grab her third shackle, then SHIN's attack boost becomes 30% stronger, and everyone will get a 36% boost to their damage. You don't have to do anything for that 36% damage, you just sort of get it by placing SHIN on the field. Congratulations. That's right, if you weren't content with Hamel, Cabernet, and Lady Pearl, and for some reason demand that she apply a permanent infer ult to your entire team, then you can dig deep and grab S3. S3 is not required, but it is very, very silly and very, very overpowered. To clarify, SHIN does not need S3. S0 is already 3 sinners combined into one. S3 just adds a 4th into the mix. S1 is a nice quality of life that expands SHIN's range from its normal diamond-shaped range to the entire map and removes that range restriction. I do recommend S1 to all players because it provides a nice quality of life to a sinner that will be seeing play on every game mode and every stage in Path of Nowhere. If you want to be Giga broken beyond belief and want to play the game on story mode, then S3 might just be for you. But for the vast majority of players, I'd stick to S1, again just to make the game easier and more relaxed to play. It doesn't increase your power. Knowing all of that, let's take a look at how S1 SHIN performs in BFL. This Hamel Cabernet Lady Pearl mashed together monstrosity is unsurprisingly dominant in BFL. The attack boosts allows your center to hit over BFL's high defenses, increasing damage significantly more than the listed 27%. Remember that in Path of Nowhere, defenses are a flat reduction. The higher the defenses, the more damage you'll receive from attack boosts. This is particularly noteworthy in BFL, where the average boss has roughly 350 defenses. This would result in SHIN's ultimate making a 700 attack center, dealing 54% more damage just from the attack boost. This boost is rather insane and is why Cabernet has been a staple on most BFL teams since her release 2 years ago. Cabernet has been dominating BFL for 2 years straight, and Anzo drops a better Cabernet. I can't even stress how good SHIN is. On top of dominating the Dom, SHIN also synergizes with normal attack teams. A 40% boost to normal attack is a massive deal and make compositions like Weak Spot, Reforged Summer, Reforged 11, Korin, Kokolik, and even the upcoming Limited Center just that much more powerful. Yes, SHIN is the Limited Center's best partner, even more reason to get both of those characters. SHIN can also enable other immortals back into the scene. Vanilla and Mantis and Pilgia in particular can struggle to generate enough M value to enter the corrupted state on time, and SHIN gives these immortals the biggest freebie in the world by clicking her ECB and forcing them into the corrupted state, whether they consented or not. I'm not saying these immortal-based teams are meta-defining, even good for that matter, but SHIN does revive these centers and make them playable again. Remember, SHIN is a generic support, and assisting Immortals is a secondary or even tertiary effect that makes for flashy showcases on these not-so-strong options. Hestia and Drea are still meta-defining options that receive a nice boost from SHIN, even though they can enter the corrupted state without the external assistance of SHIN's ECB. The only weakness that SHIN has is her inability to break cores, but SHIN is providing so much damage to your team that you have plenty of room to bring your favorite core breakers. SHIN provides enough damage that you have the freedom to grab more core breakers and still maintain a ridiculous amount of damage. Cabernet has been a staple on 95% of teams for 2 years, and now SHIN comes in and does it even better. The healing isn't that big of a deal on BFL, but it can be nice in certain stages where the incoming damage is actually a threat. Though, you're mostly bringing SHIN for her attack boost, with bonus points if your team happens to do damage to normal attacks. All you have to do with SHIN is click her ultimate when her meter turns red. Her meter turns red, you click the ultimate. Done. Now, if you want to extend that ultimate for as long as possible, you click your ECB afterwards. Okay? The ultimate drains the meter, the ECB fills the meter up. You kind of just negate the two and keep your ultimate up forever. So you click SHIN ult when you see it turn red, and then you click her ECB. That's all you do. You click 2 buttons, SHIN's done. SHIN's doing everything she needs to do. She's literally a 2-button character. She's the easiest character in the game to play, and she's also the strongest character in the game. I cannot believe they released this character as strong as she is. Guys, I feel like I'm gassing her up, but I'm not. She's really just that good. Okay, as for the other game modes, like Story, Mania, Trading, and ROTD, SHIN is equally busted here. SHIN's healing matters much more significantly here. Most teams in this more casual content will actually require a healer, and SHIN is the best healer in the game. On top of being the best healer in the game, she passively buffs all normal attack damages. In game modes where normal attack damage is the most common way to wave clear. Then you factor in that SHIN can turn on her attack boost whenever she wants to, and you've got yourself the strongest healer who heals and buffs by AFKing in the center of the board, who can also turn on a delete button if she wants to. This character is absurdly good, and we'll see play in all game mode and in all stages. There's literally no reason not to bring SHIN. Okay, I take that back. You don't need SHIN. If you don't like SHIN, if you get creeped out by tentacles, if you get annoyed at her voice, you don't need SHIN. But SHIN will be the best option in all stages for a long time. So if you do like tentacles, then I hope you also like her voice, because you will be hearing it a lot, everywhere you go. Honestly, just click the eyeball symbol on her profile page. That little eyeball center will make her appear at the top of your roster and make it easier for you to mindlessly play SHIN on every board, on every map, on every stage, regardless of what you're playing. She's good enough to be a default member of every team on every stage and invalidate all other healers. She's too good. If such a thing could be said for a single player game, SHIN is literally too good. Again, if a thing could be said for a single player game, I mean, play however you want, I'm not going to judge you. SHIN's ECB can also make Immortal Centers, again, Mantis, Bilgia, much more reliable. Though again, assisting the friendly Immortals is a secondary, if not tertiary effect. Most of SHIN's value comes from the consistent healing and high buff uptime. SHIN's direct competitors on these stages are Hamel and Cabernet. SHIN is a better healer than Hamel. SHIN is better Hamel, straight up, no discussion needed. And while Cabernet can match most of SHIN's buff, Cabernet has a relatively low uptime with her SP costs and soul fragment restrictions. SHIN doesn't even have SP. She can do whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell she wants, and keep going. The fact that SHIN does both of these jobs and provides a normal attack bonus and does it better than the competition makes her truly irreplaceable, and I'd again recommend S1 SHIN to literally every player regardless of your roster. Again, S0 and S1 SHIN are identical in power. S1 SHIN is just significantly easier to play. S1 SHIN is literally just a stronger Hamel, like a better healing than Hamel, can give up this 40% normal attack boost for no reason, and can apply a Cabernet ult whenever the hell she wants without the restrictions of soul fragments or SP. Like, this character does way too much. S0, even though I recommend S1. Crazy character. I cannot believe what Anthem was thinking. As for team compositions, you can put SHIN into literally every team. I mean, literally every team. Put her in Weak Spot. Put her in Bleed. Stack her with Reforged Summer. Slap her on the Arcane Crit team. Why not? Go ahead and you want to play Umber Core? Replace or accentuate Graves on the Umber Core team. She can do it. She's great. It's perfect. You want to lean into the M value generation and play with your Immortals? Go ahead. She's great with the Immortals. You like the normal attack buffs? You want to play with Corn? You want to make Corn go pew pew? Do it. Corn's great. You like summons? Shin is great with summons. You want to huff Copium and pretend like Kokolek's still good? Well, Shin will make you think that Kokolek is still good. Shin is literally the best in slot for every team setup in the entire game. You cannot go wrong with her. Pair Shin with your favorite centers and start popping off. You can go through this team comp montage I just set up and pause on whatever team you're most interested. I crafted what I believe is the strongest variant of each of these teams. It is really concerning that Shin is the best option on literally every single team. Okay, looking at Crimebrands, Shin is a healer and also an energy-less support. You can grab one of the 2 generic healing sets for more casual stages, or an aggressive set if you want to speedrun. You're looking at Final Prologue and Bloodbound Oath for healing, or a set like Nomad, Nightmare Revelation, or Afterglow to maximize her offensive support. Shin is extremely flexible with her Crimebrands, and it's hard to find a bad choice. I think my favorite is the Immolation Ignition Primordial Maul. These are filler Crimebrands that other centers struggle to carry, but fit quite easily on Shin with how flexible she is. The only downside is that you also need to run a filler slot 1, and that kind of sucks. But again, super flexible, run whatever you want, as long as it's a healing or a support set, you're golden. As for the ideal investment, we've already talked about this at the start of the video. I see a lot of misunderstanding and confusion online, so let me get this clear. S0 Shin is tied for the strongest center in the game. S0 Shin buffs everyone's attack and everyone's normal attack by absurdly high values. Shin does not need S3. S1 is a nice quality of life that expands Shin's range from the diamond shape to the entire map. This makes Shin significantly easier to play, but assuming perfect play does not make her any stronger, just easier. If, and I mean if, you decide to go for that third shackle, you're turning Cabernet, who's effectively 3 centers rolled into 1 character, you're effectively turning her into 4 characters rolled into 1 character. If you want to play the game on like story mode, S3 Shin is the move. But to summarize, S0 Shin is already the strongest character in the game. S1 Shin is stupid easy to play because the range expands to the entire map. S3 turns you into the strongest center in the game into an even more strongest center in the game. It's great. As for the ECB, Shin's ECB is used to maintain her ultimate for as long as possible. I would recommend ECB 2, which gives Shin enough ammunition to maintain her ultimate for the entire duration of a BFL stage. Grabbing ECB 3 can make the ultimate last even longer, but I wouldn't say you need ECB 3. As for the tier list, Shin is the strongest center in the game, and we'll see play on literally every stage and every game mode. She takes 2 or 3 of the most meta-defining centers and rolls them into 1 character. This character is ridiculously, absurdly, monstrously overpowered, and I'm not sure how she ever made it out of QA/QC with these numbers. That being said, she's not LL, and LL is equally broken, but for different reasons. I give LL the advantage against S0. I say they're tied at S1 and an obvious hands-down victory to Shin if we're considering S3, but S3 is, well, it's certainly a choice for Hanzo. It's no matter what you do with Shin, it's hard to feel any level of disappointment. The lack of core break is the only downside, but that hasn't really stopped LL, Yugo, or Jelena, so I doubt it's going to come anywhere close to stopping Shin. This character is busted. So busted that Shin... I mean, Anzo certainly has their favorites. I mean, look at Rahu. Rahu is not their favorite, but Anzo certainly has their favorites. And Shin is pretty high on that favorite list. And pretty high on their tier list. This character is absolutely like meta-defining material, and she is best in slot on every single team in the game. She's crazy good. Alright, I hope you all have enjoyed. We've got a lot of new faces since our last character guide. Welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy this day. I keep myself rather busy in the real world, but I try to squeeze out impactful guides whenever I can, while still uploading the occasional BFL clear so that you guys can see what all of this information can amount to. As for back-end stuff, I'm still sitting on a Corrin video that I never released, and it's been so long that I had to put it on the back burner because Shin's release directly affects Corrin's team comps, and my unreleased video now needs to be updated before it gets released. It's such is life. I've also got a Crimebrand guide in the works. I see Crimebrand guide requests all the time, so I hope I can do it justice. As always, I'll be covering the latest reforges and newest centers as they come to global servers, and post high score showcases showcasing their potential at level 70 if possible. I hope you lovely ladies and gentlemen have a wonderful night. Please let me know what you'd like to see. I do read your comments. Y'all are cute. Your comments are worth reading. You matter. I hope you feel seen, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Tear apart and into the sea. The red heat. Shelter. It ends here.
This is the guidance of the flames.
Threat eliminated. I can dive deeper now.